Hey guys, and welcome back. We're playing 14 Days with You. It is a dating sim that has some spooky stuff going on for it. I swear to God, if my cat jumps on my back again, I'm gonna cry. I changed, I don't know if you see, there's a big chair right there. I changed the little chair because it's better for my back. But now she jump scares me and will claw my back because she thinks she can jump on the back of this one. But she can't. Just me. Just me. She scratches. Anyways, my name is Mary DeRoses. I play video games. This has some stark themes, just a heads up, but I'm excited to continue. Hopefully we can finish this, because I believe it's like a demo, so. Geez, why do my thoughts keep returning to that eccentric man? Deciding that I wasn't going to waste my time thinking about any more pink-haired guys, my beloved Haruko aside, I get up from the lounge and meander my way back towards the front desk again. But once I arrive, I immediately notice that my chatty coworker was still nowhere to be found. It was just like my boss had said. Eleanor, why do I always say her name wrong, wasn't anywhere to be seen, and it wasn't like her to leave the reception desk unattended for so long. Maybe she managed to knock over a pile of books again and was busy cleaning it up. I certainly wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary for her. Also, I matched him. Do you see it? You get the vibe? Come on, here. It's fine if she gets out. I just try to keep my door shut so my partner doesn't wake up. Okay. Well, whatever. I'm sure she'll turn up again soon. The impact from me plopping down on my desk chair caused some of the papers around me to rustle, and a bright, pink sticky note fluttered around captures my attention. Assuming it was left here by Eleanor, I peeled the folded note off my computer screen and read it. Angel! Unfolding it, it read the following. I'll wait for you after work, but if you change your mind about our deal, just keep walking. I'll take the hint, don't worry. That stuttering guy from aisle 8. Oh, I'm in love. The stuttering guy from aisle 8, I couldn't help but crack a smile at the name Ren chose for himself. And before I could allow Eleanor the chance to manifest behind me and to tease me to Kingdom Come, I pocket the note and go back to sorting through the stacks of returned books left on their desk. I like that everything's kind of pink. It's really cute. True to his word, I catch a glimpse of Ren, patiently waiting for me on one of the benches as I pack up for the day and leave the library. From afar, he looked like an oversized puppy, waiting for his owner to return from work, and admittedly, I find it rather cute, especially with how his figurative tail starts to wag upon my arrival. Ren seems all too happy to see me. Before I can even call him out on it, he offers me a bottle of water that, I assume, he bought from one of the convenience stores down the street. You sure work hard today. Now you can find rest, huh? He's looking down at me again with a glimmer of expectancy in his eyes, so I hesitantly take the bottle of water from his grasp and give him an affirmative nod of my head. Thanks. No problem. Did you want to head off now, or do you want to rest for a bit? I mean, you were standing a lot today. I like the ambient sounds, but we're gonna just turn that down. It's distracting me. I don't know if it's distracting y'all. He seemed almost lost in his thoughts now, and I wondered how he knew what I'd been doing all day. After all, I figured he would have left after he found that book, but maybe he stayed a bit longer to read it. Oh, no, I'm fine, but do you think we could make a quick detour on the way? I still need to. Angel! Ayo! I could recognize the two boisterous voices anywhere. The first one belonged to Jay Yuen, right? Huan? Or simply just Jay, a guy I had met at a university. He sat next to me during the first few days of orientation and even offered to lend me his phone charger when my battery started to run out. He's a fun guy to be around, though his extroverted and energetic personality was often hard to keep up with. But Leon, the other guy awkwardly hanging off of Jay's arm, was a different story. We'd practically known each other since we were babies, but he moved away from Coraland Bay when we were still in elementary school. I wasn't sure when he moved back to the Bay, but it was great knowing I'd be able to see him again. I just wished I could find the time to hang out with him just like we used to, but I was always busy with work, and he always busy playing volleyball and taking care of his sick mother in the hospital. Wow, this man's a saint. I just wished I could find the time to hang out with him just like we used to, but I was always busy with work, and he was always busy playing volleyball and taking care of his sick mother in the hospital. What? Before I knew it, I was being pulled out of my thoughts by Jay's bubble laughter. Hey, still with us? Hey, Angel. Finally finished with work? Oh, and who's this? This is Ren. We actually just met at work today. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to tell Leon, the human personification of overprotective, that I just met this man today. What would he think if he found out I was bringing home a complete stranger? He usually rents out my recommended books at the library. Anyway, Leon, Jay, this is Ren. Ren, this is Leon and Jay. Unfortunately, these guys are my friends. It's truly unfortunate to know a handsome bloke such as myself. Leon dramatically clutched the spot above his heart as he leans further into Jay's shoulder. Reading's hard. So you're Ren. Are you new here? I'll just do that voice for him. I like to think I know everyone here in the Bay, but it seems you've proven me wrong. Yeah. I recently moved here a couple months ago. Oh, same as Angel. I'm pretty sure they moved back here like, 2 months ago, right? Leon looks at me for confirmation, and I meekly nod my head. Strange how I've only been back here for 2 months, and I've yet to find enough time to catch up with all my friends. Oh, what a coincidence. Anyway, talking about moving is boring. Do you want to come hang out with us? Hardly noticed the way Ren gets shoved to the side by Jay. Intentionally or not, nor could I make out the scowl on his face as soon as the excitable man leans a little too close into my personal bubble. We were just about to head over to Club Shoreline. Do you want to come? I'm sure Leon wouldn't mind paying for you as well. I have to do that face when I do that voice. I don't know why. Oh, I don't mind paying for them, but who said anything about paying for you? I did just now. Thanks, Leon. You're the best. I don't miss the way Leon rolls his eyes at Jay's antics before settling his gaze on me once more. Do you want to tag along? I really don't mind paying if you do. Sorry, guys. I've actually already made plans. And do these plans have anything to do with this lanky fellow? My name is Ren. Actually, yeah. I promised I'd hang out with him today. Ah, he could come clubbing with us too. The more the merrier. I'd rather not. Sorry, maybe another time. I'm kind of drained from work anyway, so... Hey, no worries, Darl. That's a crazy-ass nickname. Darlin', but shorter? Just make sure you take it easy when you get back home, yeah? He shoots me a considerate smile before throwing an arm over Jay's shoulder. Well then, if you excuse us... I gotta find a way to get this knucklehead over to cover his own entry fees. We can all catch up another time, okay? And if you need help with anything, just give me a ring, yeah? I'll watch my phone like a hawk tonight. It was nice catching up with you, Darl. And nice to meet you too, Ron. As they leave, I notice the way Leon looks Ren up and down, almost as if he was sizing him up. I gotta tell you something, 1 second. But Jay, like always, ignores the mood and thumps Leon in the back and encourages him to walk faster. So, I went to this Christmas event, and I had some coworkers invite me, and I was like, cool, we'll all meet up, we'll all hang out. No one fucking showed, except for me and my partner, and then, like, an hour into it, my friend. Not gonna give their name, because if anyone sees this who knows that, they'll know who it is. Anyways, this is funny to me, but at the time, it was very, like, something's happening. So we see them, and I say hi, like, we're actually leaving, but, like, it's good to see you, and I hug them and talk to them. And they go, and they hug my partner, and they just stare at each other. And if it was an anime, it would have been crazy. And I think of that a lot, because I'm thinking, like, this should be in a show, because it was just, like, I don't know if they were sizing each other up. I don't know what goes through men's heads, but I always thought that was really fun. I think about it, it makes me, like, kind of warm inside for no reason. I don't care about what happened. It's just the idea that it happened. I don't know how to explain it, because I watch a lot of shows, you know? But yeah. And then my partner was like, why did he hug me? I was like, I don't know. Because he's warm? I don't know. It's just fun. But yeah, that's what this felt like. I watch as they both throw a carefree wave over their shoulders as they both head off into the direction of the nightclub a few blocks down the street. So that wasn't awkward at all. I turned to look at Ren, but his eyes seemed to be fixated on the two retreating figures. He doesn't seem to snap out of it, so I gently call out his name again. Oh, sorry. Do you wanna head back home now? Miss. Come here. Come on. There you go. Now you're sitting with me. In the end, we made a quick detour to the local locksmith before heading back to my apartment. Sorry if I'm bumping my mic. It has to be very close for it to sound right, but then my chin hits it, you know? I don't even have that much of a chin, but it's like right there. Like there's like that much space. So this is my place. You'll have to excuse the mess. I wasn't expecting to have anyone over. Hey, don't worry about it. I know you're not a messy person. I mean, From what I can tell, you don't really seem like the type. Yeah? Well, we can still keep that image of me after you see the state of my place. His soft laughter echoes down the hallway and almost drowns out the sound of my neighbor opening her door. Oh. Violet almost seems embarrassed as she jumps behind her door, clearly not expecting someone to be around at this time, but she brushes it off with a soft smile and steps outside. Hello again, Angel. We seem to be bumping into each other a lot today, huh? Oh, who's this? How do I explain to my neighbor that Ren wasn't some guy I just met at the work today? Certainly she'd chew me out for bringing home a complete stranger, but still, he didn't exactly seem like the type to murder me in my sleep. In fact, he seemed more like the type of guy to ask me to return his order because he asked for no pickles or something. I'm Ren. Immediately, his large frame blocks my view as he steps in front of my neighbor and me, almost as if he wanted to put as much distance between us as possible. One of his hands shoots out from inside his pocket, and he gruffly offers it to Violet for her to shake. Hi, Mummies. Concerned about his abrupt actions, I sidestep him and look up to gauge his expression. I'm a friend of Angel's. I see. I haven't seen you around before, though. Are you new to the area? Relax, Vi. He's not a serial killer or anything. At least, I sure hope he wasn't. And why did I feel the sudden urge to defend him? It wasn't like I couldn't confidently say that he was some holy being that flew down from heaven or something. Maybe he was the one who needed to be called Angel instead. Ah, well, I didn't really matter. Really, Ren actually offered to stay at my place for the night in case that creep decides to come back. Oh, well, I mean, he certainly has the height for it. I get that a lot. But don't worry, they are safe in my hands. Well, alright then. A friend of Angel is a friend of mine. But I have my eye on you, Mr. Totally Not a Serial Killer. She whispers the next part to Ren under her breath, but clearly had the intention of letting me hear it as well. Just remember that I know what you look like now, so don't complain if you see your face plastered all over milk cartons soon enough. Welp, alrighty then. Enjoy your night, and no funny business, you two. I'm off for my work now. Toodles. Ignore her, please. Alright. Okay, but I gotta ask, was she holding a potted plant on a walk? Yes, she was. Ooh, I like the code vibes. Dropping my keys into the bowl, I shrug out of my coat and drape it over on one of the chairs near the entrance. Welp, make yourself at home. Turning to Rin, I watch as he awkwardly shuffles about in the hallway, almost uncertain if he should come inside or not. He moves to take off his shoes, and I watch in awe as he neatly stacks them next to the umbrella rack. Oh, are you the type to leave your shoes on at home? Sorry, No, you're fine. He really was adorable, but now that he was here, I wasn't quite sure what to do next. Usually I'd pop on a TV show or some anime while I chow down on some takeaway food, or even just talk with Moth until some unreasonable hour in the morning. Now that I had company over, I wasn't quite sure what to do. I didn't even know what Ren liked to do in his free time. Turning to face the pink-haired man once more, I almost jumped back in fright. Clearly, I wasn't expecting him to get so close to me while I was lost in thought. I almost feel the heat radiating from his large frame and feel the small puffs of air leave his nostrils as he shyly leans down to look at me. Oh, so... Breathe, Angel, breathe. Was there anything you wanted to do, or... Because I usually just... Damn it. It was so hard to think straight when he was standing so close to me. And wafting? His stupidly strong scent of mint and fresh linen in my direction. That bastard. Why was I even so attentive to the way Ren smells? Wow, I'm beginning to sound like a creep. Nah, I don't really have anything I need to do. You can just go about your normal routine if you want, and I'll try not to get in your way. Or you could just put me in a corner somewhere and pretend I'm not there. Whatever works for you. No offense, but what the fuck? But you take up much more room than you think, so I doubt that would work. Ah, touché. Once again, I found myself being drawn in by his soft laughter, and I couldn't help but chuckle along with him. Was it always this easy talking to him? It was like we were childhood friends reminiscing about old times or something. Except the only one making it awkward now was me. Glancing back at Ren, I noticed how he's still looking at me with those expectant eyes of his as he looms over me in the entryway. He obviously didn't want to do something I'd be uncomfortable with, and he couldn't really suggest anything since he wasn't at his home. So I guess the choice was up to me after all. Ooh, we're gonna save. Okay, so just getting ready for bed. Make a late night snack. Let's eat something. Do we eat today? Are you hungry? I think I got some leftover takeaway still in the fridge that I can heat up, or we can raid my pantry for some snacks if you prefer. Is that okay? I don't want to be a bother. Not at all. Feeling a bit peckish anyway. Well, all right then. Tall boys are always hungry. That's just how it works. Settling onto the couch with some microwave food and snacks, Ren and I then decided on something to watch. There wasn't much on at this time besides some B-list horror flick, and to my surprise, I find out that Ren actually liked those kind of movies. Or at least, he seems to enjoy it with the way he was hunched over in his seat, gazing intently staring at the screen as a hunt sequence began. But I suppose I could understand the intrigue, seeing as once I glanced back at the television, I found myself completely enraptured by the suspense and overall chilling atmosphere of it all. The killer was chasing down his victim now, and I watched with bated breath as he stalks his way towards the door, cutting off the glow of light from underneath the doorframe. Almost smugly, like he knew exactly where his victim was hiding, the masked killer knocks on the door before letting himself in. He walks with heavy footsteps towards the edge of the bed before ever so slowly bending down, lifting the quilt up, raising his axe, and... That scared me. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot this was a horror game. It scared me so much I had tears. Okay. What? It wasn't the jump scare that got me, but rather Ren's abrupt yelp, clutching my shirt where my rapid heart beating thumped against my chest. I spare a glance at the lanky man with fleeting anger in my eyes. Sorry, I really didn't think a cheap jump scare like that would get me. And here I thought you enjoyed watching these kinds of films. I do. I guess I wasn't paying much attention at the time. I see. I didn't, in fact, see. We can change the movie if you like. You don't have to watch it because of me. I know you prefer watching anime anyway. Nah, I don't mind watching some scary movie if you... How did you know I liked watching anime? That side of me wasn't something I go around telling strangers, and I certainly remembered if I told it to Ren. Oh, I saw one of your posters on your wall when we came in. Attack on Giants or something, I think? Oh, right. I forgot that I hung that up when I first moved into my apartment. But I'm surprised that he noticed it from all the way in the lounge room. But shouldn't it be dark by now in that hallway? It's not like there were any windows to let in the moonlight, and I hadn't turned the light on yet. I actually like that anime too. I recently started watching it because, well, I thought it looked interesting. He watches Attack on Giant? Well, now that I thought about it, it made a lot of sense. He definitely gave off Haruko vibes, and his oddly specific hairstyle and timid personality were proof of that. Then again, it really might have been a coincidence after all. But there was no harm in asking, right? Is that why you styled your hair like that? Because it honestly reminds me of one of the characters from it. He's one of my favorite characters, actually. Do you know him? Haruko? He's a sorcerer who... Come on, Angel, tone it down, you fucking nerd. This was a moth you were gushing to. No one needed to see this cringy side of you. Although, looking at Rin, he did seem to be interested in what I had to say. But then again, he was probably just being nice. Maybe it is just a trendy haircut or something, sorry. I like Haruko too. He's very timid and sweet, isn't he? Guess that's why he's a fan favorite, huh? Do you normally go for guys like him? There's that switch of personality again. Was he always like this? I was beginning to think it was more than just an act he was putting on. He's your type, right? Actually, I get a weird sense of deja vu from his words, and I find myself thinking back to the time when Moth asked me that very same question. And now that I thought about it, Ren definitely fit the description I gave them. He had Haruko's looks and personality, but also liked to dress in that cozy, soft academia aesthetic that I liked. My interests were ever-changing and dependent on my hyperfixations, so I couldn't say for certain what my current type was. As if noticing my far-off stare, Ren breaks the silence by talking once more. Miss. She's mad because she wants to cuddle, but I'm in the small chair. Come here. Come in. No? Oh, but you asked about my hair, right? I guess it does have something to do with Haruko, but at the same time. Not really. I chose this hairstyle because of other reasons. Well, that was certainly ominous. But before I could ask, I watched as Ren subtly tries to mask a yawn by turning his head to the side while covering his mouth. It was endearing how he tried to pass it off as though it was no. Don't do that to me, game. That's not fair. Mommies. It was endearing how he tried to pass it off as though he was simply looking around the room, but I knew better. Tired? I can get you your bed set up now if you'd like. Just give me a second to pull out the air mattress. It's fine. I don't want to be a bother. I could just sleep on the floor or something. I really don't mind, honest. But I have timber flooring. Seriously, don't worry about it. I'll just be 2 seconds. Scared me. I get up from my spot on the couch and make a beeline for my closet before he can respond. And yet, I barely got 3 meters away before I could hear the heavy, telltale footsteps of Ren following close behind me once more, almost like a lost puppy. It was honestly kind of cute. Shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts, I pull out my trusty air mattress from the closet and begin setting up in the lounge room. That is, until I found out that it had a massive gaping hole on the side. Those damn rats! I swear, if I had the chance to move apartments, I'd take it to in a heartbeat. But until then, I'll continue to set complaint after complaint after complaint to my good-for-nothing landlord. Really, I don't mind sleeping on the floor. And like I said, I have uncomfortable timber flooring, unless... Oh! We're doing that one. We're saving. But we're doing that one. You could share my bed. Wow, did I really just suggest that? Where did I suddenly get so much confidence from? At that, I could feel my entire face flush, and I could barely spare a glance at Ren, who noticed that he was sporting a similar demeanor. You were... Sorry, I don't know why No, I don't mind. It's just... Is that really okay with you? I don't want to make you uncomfortable by invading your personal space, and I really don't mind sleeping on the floor. No, it's fine. I'm the one who asked you to do this favor in the first place, so I owe you. After showing Ren to the bathroom to freshen up and changing into my own pajamas? Is that how you spell pajamas? Did I? In the laundry room, I met him in the middle, and we both made our way to my bedroom. I didn't bother flicking on the light, knowing full well that I'd be busy ignoring his presence next to mine by pretending to be asleep. So instead, I awkwardly led him in before turning to face him in the darkness. You can just pick whatever side you prefer. You first. Oh, but maybe I should be the one closest to the door, just in case. He really didn't need to be so considerate, but nevertheless, I took my side on the left and slowly slipped underneath the sheets. I must have looked forced, but I awkwardly pat the empty space next to me and shot Ren a crooked smile. He slowly makes his way over and joins me underneath the covers. And before he could even say anything, I slammed down a pillow between us. Just in case I roll over or something. I'm known to be a cuddler in my sleep. Oh, that's fine. I'm the same, I think. You think? I mean, no one's told me yet, but I've woken up to my limbs tangled around my pillow more times than I can count. I see. Yeah. Great, now it's awkward again. But being this close to Ren, I could smell his scent once more, and I felt almost comforting. I had to fight the urge to roll over onto my side and face him, or rather, the pillow once more. Bed dips as Ren moves around to get comfortable, and I find myself wondering what he might be looking at right now. Was it my ceiling? The pillow between us? Or was he laying on his side and facing the wardrobe? Why was I so concerned in the first place? Sorry, I'm nervous. She's going to scratch the shit out of me. Sure, I suppose I did find him rather interesting, but that didn't really explain why I wanted to look at his face one more time. Did I want to get closer to him? Or was I just curious about what that stranger was currently doing in my bed? We're gonna save again. So I have streamer mode activated and I don't know what it does. Still work in progress here. See, I don't know. Move the pillow. Before I can stop myself, my hand reaches out. Is this going to be a jump scare? I'm going to be so upset. What time is it? Okay, it's alright. It's a good time for a jump scare. I moved the pillow between us. I was immediately met with soft blue eyes, which I could see widen in surprise, even in the darkness of the room. Hi. Hey. Talk about awkward. Without realizing it, I discarded the pillow somewhere behind me as I continued to stare deeply into Ren's eyes. There seemed to be some unspoken tension between us, and I had to fight the urge to act upon it. What exactly was I feeling? And why did I want to find out? We're gonna take 100% of the shots, okay? We're just gonna try. If it doesn't work, we just go back. Before I could think, I found myself leaning over and drawing my face closer to his. Ren seemed to be on the same wavelength as me, as I feel his warm breath fan against my cheek as his own face draws near to close the distance. One of my hands shoots out to rest against his chest, and before I could stop myself, I leaned the rest of the way in. Almost immediately, I was met with a pair of soft lips and the taste of cherry on my mouth. My eyelids flutter shut at the sensation, and I let Ren's overwhelming presence engulf my entire being. The smell of fresh mint, masculine deodorant, and something that was so wholly Ren flooded my senses, and I felt myself becoming intoxicated by it all. It was like two pieces of a puzzle slotting together, with how perfectly our lips seemed to meld with each other, and I couldn't pull myself away. One of his hands rises up to cup my cheek, and I finally find myself kneeing softly as Ren tilts his head in to deepen the kiss. He takes my bottom lip into his own and gently bites down before his tongue joins in, curiously prodding against my lips as to test the waters. When I meet him halfway with my own, he seems to have finally found the reassurance he needs before deepening the kiss even more. What is he doing, climbing in there? His other hand rests on my waist before gently pulling me closer, clearly not wanting any distance between us. So Ren wanted this just as much as I did. I could feel just as eager he was as he kissed me with more desperation, if ever, than anything I'd ever experienced in my life. But we could only go on for so long before one of us needed air, and that someone happened to be me. When I pulled away, Ren practically whines at the loss of contact, and I watched with slight amusement as his lips unconsciously follow to seek out mine once more before his eyes flutter open. A beat passes, and we just stare at each other, taking in the moment and to process what had just occurred. His hands are still on me, and he was only then when I noticed that he was tracing faint stars on my cheek with his thumb. Did that really just happen? His voice is soft, so soft that I could barely make out what he was saying. He's staring at me with so much overwhelming adoration in his eyes that I couldn't help but look away. And that was when I just saw just how hard the kiss affected him. As if noticing what I was staring at, Ren let out an awkward sound and shifted so that his lower half was obscured by the blankets once more. Sorry, you're just really hard to resist. Not that I want to resist you or anything, I guess what I'm saying is that I want you. Taken aback by his sudden boldness, I had to allow myself a moment to collect my thoughts. I feel like, because this is supposed to be like kind of scary, and I'm like, am I messing this up? We're gonna find out. Sorry, what was that? Nothing. Sorry, you probably want to sleep now, right? I'll let you do that. Good night, Angel. Giving him a weak reply, could he even hear me? I awkwardly turned over onto my side and settled back into bed. As Ren does the same, I feel the mattress shift once more and a heavy silence lingers in the air. Maybe he fell asleep already. Deciding to push my luck and break the silence once more, I whisper to Ren one final time. Good night, Ren. Good night, Angel. Sweet dreams. I'll stay up a bit longer just in case anything happens. So don't worry about a thing and just get some sleep, okay? No one's gonna break in on my watch. I'll see you in the morning. The fleeting touch of his hand still lingers on my cheek as I find myself drifting off into a blissful sleep. End of day 1. Yes. I should have ended my first episode with there, but I had to go. I don't remember where I was going, but something was happening. The sound of birds chirping happily outside pulled me from my slumber as the streaks of sunlight peeked through the blinds of my window and cast a warm glow across my skin. Groggily, I turned on my side and smushed my head into the pillow to block out light, only to hear the faint sound of tapping to my left. Cracking open one eye, I was surprised by the scene in front of me. Ren was already awake, perched against the headboard as he idly scrolled through his phone. It seemed he was waiting for me to wake up, judging by how he immediately puts on his phone down as soon as we make eye contact and sends me a soft smile. Almost sheepishly, I shoot him an awkward smile of my own before covering my face with the pillow once more. Had Ren been watching me sleep? I hope I wasn't drooling. Morning, Angel. His voice pulls me from my thoughts, and I couldn't help but notice just how attractive he sounded in the morning. His gruff, sleepy tone was rather pleasant to hear, and I found myself wanting to continue the conversation. Lifting my head from the safety of my pillow, I was greeted with Ren's soft demeanor once more. I'd appreciate it if you weren't so chipper this early in the morning. You'd be this chipper too if you realized that you weren't murdered in your sleep last night. Which can only mean one thing. That creepy guy didn't come back to your apartment last night. He seems almost smug as he leans closer to me. And it was then when I realized just how pretty he looked underneath the morning light coming from my window. It wasn't fair that he got to look so ethereal and glowing this early in the day. Ethereal? I see that word a lot. I don't quite know how to say it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to praise his looks or throw a pillow at his head. Ren doesn't seem to pick up on my speechless nature, though, as he continues to beam down at me with such a soft look. And I found myself wanting to look away in fear of making things even more awkward. I guess I did a good job, huh? He's a bit too smug. If you ever need my services again, I'll be more than happy to apply it. For free, of course. You're really talkative in the mornings, aren't you? I can't help it. I got to wake up next to a real cutie this morning. As if noticing how close he was to me, or maybe realizing that he dropped his usual stutter, Ren immediately pulls back and turns his head away. Anyway, now that you're awake, would you like to go out for breakfast? I think that cafe near the pier is open now. We could go check it out, like a date, but only if you want to. Why did he suddenly switch again? Figured we'd at least be a tiny bit closer, especially considering that we shared a bed, but maybe I was wrong. You mean the Driftwood Cafe? I didn't even know it was open to the public yet. Really? Well, what better way to find out than by finding out, I guess. I rolled my eyes at his lame attempt as a joke before groaning into my pillow. Did he seriously want to get out for breakfast this early in the morning? Man, he was seriously a trooper. With a sigh, I reluctantly sat up and stretched my limbs. From that action alone, it was like I could feel Ren's eyes on me. As soon as I turned my head, he was already staring holes into the blanket with a blush on his cheeks. Shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts, I let all of my joints pop before breaking the silence once more. So, Driftwood Cafe? In the end, Ren and I decided to walk to the cafe together, considering how the weather was perfect and it wasn't that far from my apartment. Turning to my side, I noticed how the pink-haired man tried to not so subtly sneak a side glance towards me. The arm at his side practically itches to reach out. And if I knew any better, I would have assumed he wanted to hold my hand. That's so cute. But instead, he simply tucks his hands into his pockets and shoots me yet another soft smile. The weather's really nice today, huh? Back to small talk, it seems. Sure is. If I had known it'd be this nice and sunny, I would have suggested spending the day at the beach instead. Yeah? Yeah, we could go for a swim, or maybe even check out the rock pools. It's been a while since I've been there. Oh, that does sound fun. Angel. At the sound of my name being called, this fucking guy. I turn on my heels, only to find Leon, that bastard, running up to me with a sports bag full of what I assume to be his volleyball gear. Yo, Sunfish. It's good to see you out and about this early. I was just on my way to the beach to meet up with Jay and Tio. Did you want to tag along? And hey, it's Ron again. Nice to see you again, buddy. Oh, it's Ren, actually. Sunfish? Huh? Oh, yeah. Sunfish is the cheesy nickname Leon gave me when we were kids. I didn't really get it either, to be honest. So, Sunfish and Ren, was it? Sorry about that, bud. I'm not too good with names. Faces, too, sometimes. But hey, it's good to see you both again. Do anything exciting today? If not, you can tag along with me and Angelfish and I were about to go on a date, actually. Angelfish? A date? I don't miss the way Ren suddenly pulls my arm closer to his side, nor the way he clings onto me as if though I suddenly disappear. You're going on dates again, Darl? Good for you. I'm glad to see that you're coming out of your shell again. Take good care of them for me, won't you, bud? What do you think I've been doing ever since you moved away? Like me, Leon barely seems to notice Ren mumbling as he rests an arm over my shoulder and starts tugging me to the direction of the beach. Ren, on the other hand, still latching onto my arm but doesn't seem to move. I can't believe my little sunfish is out there on the dating scene again. I feel like a proud father. Oh, please, we're basically the same age. Feel like a proud adoptive father. Leon pretends to wipe a tear away from his eyes as he leans further into my shoulder. It was only then that I noticed Ren wasn't following us. Turning around, I reach out to grab his hand instead of tug him along. He immediately seems to perk up at the action and entwines his fingers with mine before falling into step. Alright, as fun as it is to catch up with my proud, adoptive father who's the same age as me, which makes things kind of weird, Brendan and I do need to get going. Oh yeah, of course. I didn't mean to take up so much of your time. He unhooks his arm from around my shoulder and inclines his head towards the beach one more time. But my offer still stands. If you want to catch up some more, I'll be down in the beach with... That... No... I still like Ren, but he's really cute. That's... Okay, wait. Can we just say he's instantly mad? Our boy is like, what is this? Oi. Oi. Speak of the devil. Almost like he appeared from thin air, Theodore, or rather Teodore, emerges from somewhere behind Leon and makes his way towards the three of us. Though unlike most of my friends here in Corland Bay, I actually met Teo in the city a few years ago, back when I used to live there. In fact, it was through our mutual friend Jay. Apparently, they've both known each other since the beginning of middle school, but even after graduating and moving on to university, the pair were still practically inseparable. According to Jay, Teo would always show up at campus to pay him a visit, though if I were being honest, I'm sure Teo only did it to antagonize some of the students and staff there. It definitely wasn't out of the ordinary for him to do something like that. Plus, it offered me a lot more insight into the whole assertive yet nonchalant attitude he often likes to put on. The first time I'd ever witnessed it was when Teo found me sitting alone at a cafe. I still remember sitting there slack-jawed as he practically shoved my laptop bag into the side before he sat down and took a sip of my drink like it was his own. The satisfied grin from seeing my displeasure said everything, and he had not offered to buy me another drink. I'm almost certain I would have told Teo to get lost and bother someone else. But before I can reminisce any further, I hear the sound of Teo's footprints drawing closer, and it pulls me back to the present. I watch as he walks up to us with a confident stride, before he purposely bumps into Ren, with the sole purpose of sending him tumbling into the metal railing behind him. That's so fucked up. Like, I get it, okay? I get it. I'm hot, alright? I get you like me, but... That's so mean. That's so mean. But luckily, Ren manages to catch his footing at the last second, sending Teo an annoyed scowl of his own. Hey, shit, sorry about that. I'm not sure how you missed such a brightly colored children's mascot. Alright, there's no need for that here. Despite Leon's tone, Teo barely pays the shorter male any mind, seemingly far more interested in Ren instead. Let me guess, you dressed up as Benny the Buttercup. My 4-year-old cousin would love you. Oi, knock it off, mate. What's your problem? Don't know, what's yours? I could practically feel the tension between the two grow, so I decided to step in. Maybe you should introduce each other first before you try to glare each other to death. Teo, this is Ren. He's my, well, I'm their boyfriend. Well, that was certainly one way to put it. Especially without bringing it up with me beforehand. At his words, I shoot Ren a confused glance, but the determination on his face had me biting back my words. Okay. Anyways, this is Teo. He's... Wait, how should I introduce him to Ren? I've never seen this man before in my life. Sounds perfect. And I've never seen this person in my life either. You guys are hilarious. With a sigh, I try my best to clear the air of any confusion. Alright, Teo's just a friend I made back in the city. You want to know what's hilarious? Buttercup's outfit over here. What did you just call me? Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop this, yeah? You really need to stop trying to pick fights with everyone, mate. Don't get your panties in a twist. I seriously doubt Buttercup's capable of harping a fly, let alone able to throw a decent punch. You can drop the nickname. Nah, but I think Dollface over here should drop you instead. Besides, the name's kinda cute. Matches your style pretty well, don't you think, Buttercup? I could see Ren's hand clench into a fist as he advances towards Tio, but thankfully Leon steps in once more. Seriously, why don't we all cool off, yeah? I think we're getting a bit too heated. Look, we're gonna head to the beach. I don't miss the way Leon sends Tio a sharp glare. Are you sure you don't want to join us, Angel? I promise to make sure that Tio stays on his best behavior. Sorry, Leon, but I've already made plans with Ren. And I seriously doubt they'll be able to get along. You know how Tio can get. Yeah, you got a point there. Well, alright then. He leans closer to me, almost as if he didn't want the other two eavesdropping. If anything happens, I'll be in the area. Just come find me, okay? I will, thanks, Leon. I give his arm a soft squeeze and turn my attention back to Ren. But by the way he looks at us, I can only assume that he didn't like how close I was standing to my childhood friend. Though that could also be because Tio was still around, and honestly, I couldn't blame him. Regardless, I reach for his hand once more and tug him towards the cafe, making a point of ignoring Tio's crass words as we went along. I barely notice how Ren's mood immediately changes when my attention is back on him, and he follows along like a lost puppy. We eventually arrive at the Driftwood Cafe, and the smell of fresh pastries and brewed coffee floods my senses as it wafts through the open windows. And just as I had thought, the cafe looked as though it had only recently opened, though it didn't seem as busy or crowded as I anticipated. Pulling me from my thoughts, Ren ushers me into one of the empty tables before he goes off to make an order with a pleased look on his face. It was a bit strange how he didn't want to look at the menu first, but I talked it up to him wanting to surprise me. He's barely gone for 5 minutes before he returns once more, taking a seat in front of me with a huff. A comfortable silence washes over us, and I watch as he absent-mindedly fiddles with the ends of his hair. Was he still concerned about what Tio said about his appearance earlier? Maybe it'd be a good idea to take his mind off it. Hey, Ren? Almost immediately, he perks up with wide eyes. How do you manage to keep your hair so fluffy? It always looks so good. Ren seems to flush instantly at my words, and he sheepishly ducks his head lower to hide his reddening cheeks. You like it? I usually just angle a blow dryer below my chin and blast the heat, and it just stays like that afterwards. Oh, so you don't need to use any products or anything? Not really. When I thought he got over his timid personality, it slowly came crawling back. Was this really who he was? Ren must have taken my silence as a lack of response, seeing as he tried to strike up another conversation. So, work's good for you, huh? Finally got that promotion? Yeah, I did. I was honestly surprised when I first got my promotion, considering how I've only moved back here recently. But Eleanor's been really helpful by showing me the ropes and... Wait, how did you know I got promoted? Oh, your coworker told me about it yesterday after you left. Eleanor, right? She seemed really proud of you. Anyway, what were you saying about her showing you the ropes? I barely noticed how he managed to change the conversation back to me, as I recounted all the times Eleanor helped me throughout my first week of working at the library. It eventually reached the point where it felt like I had been talking for hours, and it wasn't until something caught my eye that I finally stopped. That goth style is pretty cool. There's so many things I feel like it's gonna cause me a ruckus. That's all I have? Wait, goth style? He also glances out the window and follows my line of sight before landing on a person walking by. They were decked out head to toe with heavy makeup, platform boots, and clothing you'd only find in stores like Not Topic. Ren's eyes seem to follow their form until they're out of sight, and the impassive look on his face made me curious. Yeah, it is kind of cool. Do you like that kind of style? Because I always thought you preferred something softer. Order 25! Oh, that's us. Wait here, I'll be right back. Before I could get a word in, Ren was jumping out of his seat and meandering his way towards the kiosk. It really was a sight to behold, seeing Ren tower over most of the other customers who are waiting in line. Even the cashier herself, who seemed to be at least 6 feet tall, had to crane her neck upwards just to look at him. But before I could blink twice, Ren was already on his way back with a large tray full of delicious food. He seats himself back on his original spot with a pleased smile and begins to lay out the dishes in front of me. Oh, this is... I love cake. I mean, you could tell clearly, but cake's my favorite. A generous slice of cake sits next to my beverage and almost hear my stomach rumble at the sight. How did Red know that this was my favorite thing to order? Granted, it wasn't like I've been to the Driftwood Cafe before, but this was usually what I order at any other cafe. It was honestly like he could read my mind. And what was even more mind-boggling was that he didn't even need to look at the menu beforehand. It was like he just knew. Don't forget your drink. Ren shoots me another gentle smile of his before placing my drink before me. No way. The drink he placed in front of me, it was... steaming. I don't like hot drinks, which is not good for you. You should drink warmer drinks. I will say a cup of coffee. I could tell by the scent that he ordered me a cup of steaming coffee, just like what I normally have in the mornings in order to smoothly make it through the day. I hope this is okay. Unfortunately, this cafe doesn't really have much to offer, judging from the menu I saw online. Ah, so that's how he knew what to order. I even tried asking for napkins earlier, but I don't think they heard me. Maybe I should try again? I almost felt bad for him, but I also felt grateful for ordering me something that I'd normally eat at a cafe. I'd make sure everything's on the table before putting the tray aside, and it was then when I noticed what he'd ordered himself. On his plate sat a strawberry sweet roll alongside his cup of coffee that was alarmingly shaded black. He seemed to pick it up on my inquisitive stare, if the innocent tilt of his head was anything to go by. Do you want my meal instead? We can swap if you want. I don't mind. This was supposed to be a date, right? Decided to tease him a little. I shoot Ren a sly grin. That's okay, but you could offer me a bite instead. Ren almost seemed to combust at the spot as his cheeks turned red and he almost chokes on his own spit. He looks down at his food before glancing back at me, only to look down once more to scoop up a bite-sized piece of his food. I watch as Ren's cheek turn a deep shade of red while he brings his fork closer to me, and not wanting to be seen as a coward, I lean in to take a bite. His eyes widen almost immediately, and he seems hyper-focused on the way my mouth wraps around the fork before I lick my lips and let out a pleased hum. It's yummy. Try some. The pink-haired man seems to have an awkwardly long staring contest with his own fork before he scoops up yet another small piece and takes a bite. Ren's cheeks are still scarlet red as he seems almost fidgety with how his leg keeps bouncing under the table, so I decided to take pity on him and not tease him for it. He's all sweating. He's like, oh God, she eats cake. I can't believe it. With a knowing smile, I start digging into my own meal with a pleased hum. Eventually, we ended up finishing our meals and decided to do a bit of window shopping to pass the time. I had nothing else to do today, and Ren seemed insistent on spending the rest of his time with me, so I agreed. We passed by a few clothing stores, ice cream stands, surfboard rentals, and many other interesting buildings, though nothing really caught my interest. But just as I thought I lost all hope, one store in particular catches my eye. In one of the display windows, I spot this cute little rabbit plushie in the style of Haruko's likeness. I mean, it even came with his limited edition soccer outfit and everything. Soccer! I couldn't believe they were selling these things here, of all places, and at such a cheap price, too. Ren seems to take notice of what I was not so subtly gawking at. Before we could enter the store, the cashier walks in front of me on the display stand and blocks out our view. She drops a box of miscellaneous items at her feet and begins to stocking the shelf next to the plushies, before she finally notices us standing by the window. I don't miss the way her eyes widen at Ren, obviously taking immediate liking to him, and almost shamelessly pushing a strand of hair behind her ear before giving him a small wave. Sneaking a glance at the taller man beside me, I noticed how Ren wasn't even paying her any attention, instead keeping himself busy by scratching at his jaw and kicking at the straw cobblestone rock by his feet. But the cashier seemed adamant about getting Ren's attention, considering how she felt the need to abandon her spot by the shelves and make her way towards us. Hi there, welcome to Seaside Trinkets. My name is Olivia. Can I help you with anything? Oh, no, we were just looking around, but thanks for... We've recently got some new beachwear merchandise, if you're interested in checking them out. Was she seriously ignoring me? Oh, you kind of look like someone I know. Have we met before? Maybe we went to the same school. Me? I don't think so. Really, I definitely would remember a face like yours. Actually, now that I've got a good look at you, I watch as she shamelessly takes in Ren's appearance before crossing her arms over her chest and leaning back. You also remind me of one of those characters from a cartoon that's been gaining a ton of traction here. Apparently, one of the locations from that show is based on the Corlands Bane's Maid Beach. Are you talking about Attack on Giant? Is that the name of it? Then yeah. I don't really know much about these cartoons, but our company recently started selling some stuff for it and entice the tourists. Do you want to come inside and take a look? Actually, do you want my number as well? Here. You had this prepared? Of course. You always need to be ready in case any cuties walk into the store. I wouldn't want to sound like a hypocrite or anything. Ren looks at me with a shy, knowing look before he hesitantly reaches out to take the piece of paper. What did he mean by that? Before I even get the chance to ask, Ren already answers my silent question with red cheeks and a crooked smile. This is embarrassing, but I also had my number prepared for when we met at the library yesterday. Here. He reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a folded pink sticky note of his own before discreetly handing it to me, alongside Olivia's number as well. Huh? Why was he giving me her number as well? My confusion must have been blatantly obvious since Ren was quick to explain his intentions. With a mischievous grin, he leans closer to whisper in my ear. Maybe we could prank call her later. That'll teach her not to give her number out to strangers. But isn't that what you just did with me, Ren? I match his teasing smile with my own as I rub my thumb over the pink sticky note in my hand. Touché, but I've yet to receive any prank calls from you, though. Pfft, don't jinx it. Just as Ren lets out a puff of laughter at my joke, Olivia cuts him off. Hello, I'm still here. Oh, right, sorry. Anyway, now that you forgot my number and I've got your attention again, I think it's only fair I show you around the store. I don't do this for anybody, you know. Ren doesn't seem to answer her initial question, nor does he seem to outright respond to her, and instead cast an inquisitive glance in my direction. It was like he was asking me for my opinion, and I can only assume it was because he knew about my interest in anime. It was thoughtful of him to do that, but I kind of wanted him to tell him that rude worker off instead. Wait, did I really want him to do that? What was wrong with me? Who am I? Just a guy. I'm sure that the cashier just took an interest in him, and there was nothing wrong with that. It's not like we were a couple anyway, but we were supposed to be on a date right now, and Ren did declare himself as my boyfriend earlier. But I just assumed he said that in order to get Tio off my back. Does that mean, was he feeling the same way as me? Was jealousy on his mind when we talked? Obviously, it was jealousy. I wasn't sure how I felt about this new discovery. Angel? Huh? Do you want to go look at the items? We still got a bit of time to kill. Here, why don't I show you the most recent stock? We haven't shown this to the general public yet, but I'm sure you'll love it. Without warning, Olivia, was that her name? Was it that bitch's name? Reaches out for Ren's arm and practically drags him inside the store. He let out a surprised sound before leaning back and trying to grab a hold of my own arm as well, but I was just out of reach. There was nothing else I could do but watch as Ren helplessly gets pulled into the store. It's back here in the storerooms. Usually we don't allow customers downstairs, but you're a real hottie, so I'll let you take a sneak peek. No, actually, I'm good. Don't worry, you won't get caught. I'm sure your partner won't mind if I borrow you for a bit. I'll even throw in some of those cartoon stickers for you. Surely that'll make it worth your time. The wink she sent him felt a little excessive, and I honestly wish Ren would turn around so I could gauge his reaction. But instead, he leans in close to her face and whispers in a hushed tone that I could barely hear from my spot outside the store. If they weren't standing right now, I would have down the stairs without a thought. And honestly, there's nothing more I'd rather do. From their current position, it looked as if they were having a really intimate conversation, and I felt the sudden urge to look away. Why was I getting so bothered over this? I know we aren't together, but Ren shouldn't be off flirting with other people while on a date with someone else. I would never want to be with someone who wasn't considering my feelings, and up until now, I honestly thought Ren would have had a chance. I guess I was wrong. But still, there was this nagging voice in the back of my head that kept telling me not to give up on him so easily. Ren was the only one who confidently stood his ground when Tio got a bit suggestive, so maybe I should do the same. Was he even mad? Would he even mind? Before I could stop myself, my feet start to move on autopilot as I march towards the two of them and reach for Ren's sleeve. I give it a hesitant tug, and I swear I could almost feel the relief wash over his body because of it. Ren's entire demeanor seems to change in that moment, and he turns to me with a relieved smile on his soft features. I don't really have any interest in the store. Can we go somewhere else? Yeah, of course. Wait, hold on. Ren carelessly shoves Olivia outstretched hand aside and gently places his arm over my shoulder instead. And just like that, he's already guiding me out of the store and back into the busy street. I can hear Olivia sputter out confused sounds as she watches the two of us leave, and I suddenly feel guilty for causing a rift between them. I don't. She was being a bitch. No matter how many times I tried to brush it aside, I still couldn't get off my mind what had just occurred earlier. What if Ren was interested in her? I think this is where I'm going to end it for now. I'm trying to end it on the days, but we'll catch up because I don't want to get past an hour. I got not many votes, but I got a couple votes on how long my video should be. So here we are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun with me. I'm really invested in this game. I didn't think I would be when I started it, but the slight scariness of him, I love. The Yandere, I can feel there's a Yandere under there somewhere, and I'm excited. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. I love you very much, and if you go on a date with a guy, don't let other guys flirt with you. I don't know, maybe food for thought. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you next video. Bye.